Unexpected message from Alcaraz in Doha for Sinner. The Spanish tennis player is eager to face the world number 2 again in another final and points out that these matches are the ones people want to see. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner are set to compete in another tournament where they could face each other once again. Both players are participating in the ATP 500 in Doha, and although neither has yet played their opening match, there is already speculation about a potential final between the two. In recent years, they have contested the finals of Grand Slams and major ATP events, so being able to meet again would be incredible, as Alcaraz confessed in an interview with Sky Sports. It would be incredible, right? I think these are the matches and the finals that people want to see. If I can win and get through all the rounds, then we'll see who reaches the final, said the Spanish player. For now, both Carlos and Jannik must win their first round matches against Thomas Macaque and Arthur Rinderknecht, respectively. Due to their positions in the rankings, they would only meet in the final of the ATP 500 in Doha. If Alcaraz wins the tournament, he would increase his lead over the Italian in the ATP rankings, which already exceeds 4,000 points. However, if Sinner claims the title in Qatar, he would reduce that gap by 500 points. Carlos Alcaraz has an extra day of preparation at the ATP 500 in Doha, where he reached the quarterfinals in his debut last season. He returns to Qatar strengthened by his first triumph at the Australian Open. On Sunday, February 1st, he became the youngest tennis player to win all 4 men's Grand Slam titles, at just 22 years old. He reappears this Tuesday in his second official event of the campaign. He faces the round of 32 in Doha against Frenchman Arthur Rinderknecht. His main rival for the title, Italian Jannik Sinner, takes to the court this Monday against Czech player Thomas Macaque. The Murcia native arrives at the tournament with his Melbourne duties completed. His main objective for 2026 has been achieved. In Doha, we have set some goals, but we are not talking about results. I'm thinking more match by match. We'll see later how far I can go. I don't want to project myself too early into the final, he said at the tournament's official press conference. His obsession is to keep improving his tennis. He neither relaxes nor feels satisfied with his 7 Grand Slam titles. I can't afford to lower my level, I have to keep taking steps forward. He sets the highest demands for himself. Yes, I've had a lot of success so far, I've won the biggest tournaments, but I still see weaknesses in myself, he said, after working on new adjustments to his serve motion during the preseason with Samuel Lopez and his brother Alvaro Alcaraz. There are many players who want to catch me. They study my game, look for ways to beat me, to challenge me. I have to be ready, get into their minds and understand what they can do against me, said a cautious Alcaraz driven by ambition to continue dominating the circuit. The world number 1 wants to finish his career alongside the legends of the sport, with the Big Three as his benchmark in the pursuit of all records. My week in Doha will be successful if I do things right both on and off the court. I want to feel that I'm doing what needs to be done, he declared. Stunning warning from Sinner to Alcaraz ahead of Doha. The Italian normalized being eliminated by Knoll at the first Grand Slam of the year and even identified everything he learned from that match. Everyone predicted an Australian Open final between Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. However, Novak Djokovic had something to say in the semi-finals. The Serbian pushed his duel with Jannik to a 5th set and at that moment produced spectacular tennis. Such was Knoll's physical and tennis level that Sinner was overwhelmed in a match situation where, in principle, he had everything in his favor. Weeks after that encounter, Jannik recalled how he experienced his first defeat in 3 years at the Australian Open. Far from reproaching himself for the result, the Italian claims to have taken positive things from it. The defeat against Djokovic taught me many things. It was a great match, both for me and from him. I had my chances and sometimes things don't go as you expect, but that's sport. Now we are changing small details on the court and these take time to become natural, but I've had good feedback. We must not forget that losing sometimes is normal, Jannik told the media present in Doha. The Italian insists that it is simply something that can happen. I experienced it in a very normal way. I'm 24 years old and I just want to play good tennis anywhere in the world, that's it. Sometimes losing is okay. What I've done over the last 2 years, together with Alcaraz, has generated a lot of attention. It just happened the way it happened. Now let's try to get back into rhythm, feel the pressure of the tournament again and see what happens. Sinner arrives at the ATP 500 in Doha as one of the big favorites for the title. It is worth remembering that he would only face Alcaraz in a hypothetical final, although the possibility of gaining points by advancing through rounds is greater for him than for the Spaniard. The demanding problem Alcaraz faces in Doha, the entire tournament without rest. Alcaraz is already training and looking toward Doha, the next objective on his 2026 tennis roadmap. After reaching glory in Melbourne, Becoming the youngest player in history to win all the Grand Slams, he decided to pause and rest. He withdrew from the indoor ATP 500 in Rotterdam, where he was defending his title from last season, and moved his base camp to his native Murcia. Family, friends, and tennis. According to Ok Diario, Alcaraz has been training in Doha since last Saturday. His debut against Rinderknecht is expected next Tuesday the 17th, which leaves a demanding schedule for Carlitos. It should be noted that the tournament runs from Monday the 16th to Saturday the 21st of February with the final. Debuting on Tuesday instead of Monday, as last year, forces Alcaraz to play 5 consecutive days without rest if he reaches the final in Doha. Alcaraz's hypothetical path to the final, where he would presumably face Sinner, is no walk in the park. In the next round he would face Valentin Royer or a qualifier, Wednesday the 18th, in the quarterfinals, Thursday the 19th, the powerful Kachanov, in the semifinals, Friday the 20th, Medvedev or two-time tournament champion Andrei Rublev, and the hypothetical final with Sinner on Saturday the 21st. 5 days without rest for Alcaraz in Doha. Alcaraz arrives liberated in Doha. When Djokovic's forehand sailed long, everything made sense for Alcaraz. He dropped to the Rod Laver Arena and lay there with his arms wide open. Carlitos had been picturing this success at the start of every season, and now he had it, on his 5th attempt. At the most crucial moment to avoid losing confidence in himself. After his abrupt split with Juan Carlos Ferrero and with Samu Lopez as his main coach, uncertainty surrounded him. Alcaraz placed his trust in Samu and is going all the way with him. He's one of the best coaches, if not the best, he said during his time in Australia. Doubts about his immediate performance with a new coach quickly surfaced. Public opinion, largely unaware of Samu Lopez's deep knowledge of the circuit, was harsh. Samu's career has been built in the shadows with great dedication. The hypotheses about Carlitos fueled debates and dominated media attention. Alcaraz has freed himself from those as well with his triumph in Melbourne. I remember the people who said I wouldn't make it, who thought I would come to Australia and not get past the quarterfinals and not play good tennis. I remember those people. It seems ironic. I should remember my people, but that mentality accompanies me now. I came here not to tell everyone that I'm capable, but to prove it to myself. I came with excitement and that's what I should keep, but the first thing that came to my mind was that, he said with the trophy in his hands. Today, Sunday, February 15th, marks 1 year since the official announcement of Jannik Sinner's suspension for testing positive for Clostebol, an episode that shook the tennis world and put the then world number 1 under scrutiny. A complex case, with no proven intent to dope, but one that ended with an agreed suspension and now, with the calendar in hand, leaves the Italian facing an unexpected opportunity. The origin of the case dates back to March 2024, when Sinner tested positive for Clostebol metabolites during the Indian Wells tournament and in a second test conducted days later out of competition. Clostebol is an anabolic steroid included on the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, prohibited list. From the outset, the player's camp maintained that the substance entered his body accidentally. According to the version later accepted by anti-doping authorities, the Clostebol entered Sinner's system through transdermal contamination via a spray used by his physiotherapist during treatment, without the player's knowledge. An independent ISHA, International Tennis Integrity Agency, tribunal initially concluded that there was no fault or negligence on the player's part and decided not to impose a sporting sanction, although the points and prize money earned at Indian Wells were withdrawn. However, the case did not end there. WADA appealed the decision to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS, arguing that despite the lack of intent, the World Anti-Doping Code establishes the athlete's responsibility for any substance present in their body. Before the hearing took place, both parties reached an agreement.